Hi, I'm Sherry Damaris and welcome to Macro Magic. Today I have with me Hang Mi Lee. She's a macrobiotic teacher and mom, and I specifically asked her to come on, she's such a good friend of mine, to talk about kids and how to raise kids in a really healthy way, in a macrobiotic way. And we're going to have a special guest the second half of the show show us some cooking ideas. So welcome, Hang Mi.
Thank you for having us. We're very happy to be here.
And do you want to share with the audience a little bit about your experience in raising your son to be totally macrobiotic and healthy? And he always spends a lot of time at my house eating some really great food. So you want to give us, our viewers, a little bit of information about how to begin the process, you know, if they're not familiar with giving kids healthy food. What can they start with at an early age?
Apples.
Apples.
Sure. So in macrobiotic living, our food is based on grains and vegetables. Grains are the most complete form of food that we eat, and among the grains, the brown rice is the most balanced. So brown rice is actually one of the first foods that we introduced. So what I did was when Wes was about, he's 4 now, but when he was about 5 months old, I started making brown rice porridge, very like a watery, watery version. And I think I remember straining it at first, so then he was just having the liquid.
Okay, so in
like
place of the commercial formulas, you can simply just cook down brown rice into a liquid form, strain it, and sort of like a natural rice milk without all the additive sugars, corn syrups.
Right, and you can do this at home. It's very easy. And I know many people avoid brown rice because of the arsenic, but it really depends on where it's grown. So, so you want to avoid brown rice that's grown on farms where arsenic-based pesticides were used. But so in America, in California, it's very low. California is low in arsenic.
Mm-hmm.
So Coda Farms is they're based in California. That's where we get our brown rice. And Blue Moon Acres is local to us, and they also grow their own organic brown rice.
Mm-hmm. So along with the brown rice and the whole grains, you also start introducing vegetables?
Yes. Well, so at the same time as the brown rice, I gave him miso soup. Miso is a fermented seasoning, Japanese seasoning we use to make soup. But I diluted it with bancha tea. So you don't give it to him like that because miso can be salty for babies and kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come back to that point later about the seasoning and the salt.
Okay,
Yeah.
So a little bit of brown rice porridge, some miso soup. Bancha twig tea is actually the whole twig. It's not commercial tea. You can get it at Whole Foods, and it's sort of like an alkalizing tea. Yeah. So you can do that, and then organic vegetables.
Yeah, so then from then on, I added, I started adding things like tofu, beans, vegetables, sweet potato. He likes sweet potatoes, so he ate sweet potatoes a lot, so I did sweet potatoes, broccoli, cabbage, even leafy greens. Leafy greens were a little hard to introduce, but he got around. He came around eventually.
And also we want to talk about snack foods. So those are the basic foods, but you brought along some really healthy snack foods for kids. And this is always a controversy because so many healthy, quote unquote, snacks are not that healthy. They have corn syrup or refined cane sugar, even in, what's shocking to me, even in the teething cookies of infants, they put cane sugar. So these snacks that you're going to show us are a little bit healthier without those added sweeteners to them.
So for example, with juice boxes, they tend to be very sugary, but so you can find some that are sweetened with fruit juice. So this is sweetened with Yeah, so this doesn't have any, it's just 100% juice. This lemonade is sweetened with like apple juice, grape juice. And even things like jam, you can find fruit juice sweetened ones. Like they don't have to be loaded with sugar.
Yeah, so make sure that your jams and jellies are just cooked down fruit. Maybe some pectin or rice syrup, but nothing other than that. In Macrobiotics, we use 3 sweeteners: brown rice syrup, maple syrup, and barley malt. So brown rice syrup is cooked down brown rice, barley malt is cooked down barley, and then maple syrup. And those are the most mild sweeteners that we have.
So it's a little hard to find brown rice Krispies. I couldn't find one with that's sweetened with brown rice syrup, but this is like the better ones because it's not loaded with, you know, sugar. And he usually has it with soy milk. This is a brand that we like. They also make like chocolate milk.
Yeah, and another thing that we really want to stress is it's really important not to be too strict with a child. If they're too strict, if they're too restrictive, they'll start craving all the junk food that their friends are eating. So if you're not giving them a little chocolate once in a while, or if you're not giving them a little bit more fruit or fruit spreads, they're going to start craving more extreme sodas and things like that.
So I think it's important to have good quality sweets. They need sweets actually.
Yes, kids love sweets, of course. So what do you do when there's a birthday party and there's lots of kids around and they're eating ice cream and birthday cake, and Wes, your son, comes in and he wants to have some too? What do you do?
So I usually bring our own food. I actually do that a lot. I'll ask the friend's mom or dad, what they're going to have, and I'll bring something that's similar. I'll make something at home.
And you're a wonderful baker, so you make beautiful pies and cakes and cookies and muffins that I've seen. And also we talked about when we go out to restaurants, you can pack them up a little lunchbox.
Right.
Especially if the restaurant doesn't have kid-friendly food that's real healthy, you can make them a little Tupperware of cooked vegetables and tofu or noodles that he can eat at the restaurant.
Right.
And we have some pictures up of Wes. You'll see his little hand come in the screen once in a while. Here he is making a soup. Is that right?
Actually, here we're making polenta. It's made, we're using corn grits to make polenta, a grain dish. And he's helping me. I think he's helping me. Yeah, he's putting the corn grits in the pot, and I'm just stirring. He was only like 2 or 3 at the time.
Yeah, he's so full of energy, so strong from all the healthy foods that you give him. And this is his birthday cake?
This is his 4th birthday, so just this past June, and I made a cake with Canton, which we will show today. So the crust is made of couscous. It's a type of pasta.
Okay,
Yeah.
so instead of making like a sugary crust,
Right.
you can use couscous. Okay. And then this is a recipe that...
I guess that's my last post, but it's from my blog that I started a couple of years ago. It started off as a baking diary, but it gradually evolved into a macrobiotic.
And this is a picture of you guys shopping.
This is at our local co-op, and he's helping me shop.
So it's really important to, as I said in my cookbook, Macro Magic, to have kids in the kitchen as much as possible and to help them throughout the whole process be involved. So they know when they go into supermarkets. And we've taught elementary school kids how to read labels, how much sugar is in an item, and they can count out a sugar cube is 3 grams of sugar, so they can count out how many sugar cubes is in a Pop-Tart, it's in a can of soda, and they start making better choices even when they're not with mommy at the birthday party and things like that. So we're going to break for commercial break, and then we're going to have our special guest come on and show us how to make a healthy dessert.
Thank you.
Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away, 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation, 856-226-4800.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hippity hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches, solid rock, and everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey.
Burlington County College.
Is now Rowan College at Burlington County.
Still the same great faculty.
At a community college ranked top 50 in the nation.
Basically, we earn more and pay less.
RCBC students are accepted at Rowan University after graduation.
And get a bachelor's degree for around $30,000.
Online and Mount Laurel students get a 15% Rowan University tuition discount.
And have many scholarship opportunities.
So you earn more and pay even less.
Rowan College at Burlington County.
Your path to success.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to strengthen our service members? What does it take to let them know that we stand behind them, wherever they are? What does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? And what does it take to prepare them for their future when their service to the nation is complete? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Share a message today at force.uso.org.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house.
How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want
a home. I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
Hi, welcome back to Macro Magic. I'm with Hang Mi Lee and her son Wes. And we're going to show you how to, wave to the camera, Wes. We're going to show you how to make apple juice Canton. You want to show us how to do it?
The juice is already in there.
So this is apple juice, right?
This is apple juice. And for every 3/4 cup of juice, I add 1/4 cup of water. And I have 2 cups in total.
Okay.
And for every cup of liquid, we use about like slightly rounded tablespoon of Canton agar-agar flakes, which is made from sea vegetable.
So this is clear sea vegetable. You want to show the audience, Wes? It's it looks like little whiskers, and you it's a natural form of gelatin. So if you've ever had science class where you built a petri dish and gelled it, you've probably used this ingredient. So it's actually clear seaweed, but it turns into jello In my cookbook, Macro Magic, we talk about mellow jello. And so this is a form of gelatin that is much safer to eat than what's on the market, which is basically made from animal hoofs, I think. So it's a natural gelatin, and it's very good for you because it has lots of minerals. And good for kids. So Wes is going to show us, he's cutting the apples into small pieces. And you can put any kind of fruit you want into the jello. And do you like apples, Wes? So he's going to be cutting the apples up, and you can put, what other fruits can you put usually in your jello? You could put grapes or cantaloupe.
I made like peach, apricot, pear, cantaloupe. Works really well with those juices. Grape juice, not so much. I don't know if you had.
Yeah, grape juice doesn't
really
gel.
But really any, and you can put, you can mix and match those.
And when you go to the health food store, you can find all sorts of flavored juices. There's apricot, cranberry, cherries. You can make cherry juice with cherries. You can make cranberry juice with cranberries, or you can mix and match it. But there's all sorts of combinations that you can do. And there's all sorts of fruit you can put in it, all different colored berries. You can also layer the Canton. You can gel the Canton with apples and then make another colored juice Canton. Wait till the first layer gels and then put the next layer in. So you actually have like a rainbow effect. And Wes is cutting the apples very precisely. And we also have an ingredient, are you familiar with kuzu? So you can use a thickener after this Canton gets a little bit hard
Are you helping or are you?
To make it thicker.
So this will take about like 20-30 minutes, and the agar flakes, if they stick to the sides, just scrape it off gently with a spoon.
Mm-hmm.
I would let it bring to a gentle boil, and then let it simmer for like a good 20 minutes, maybe sometimes 30.
Okay.
I let it boil really well, simmer really well, so then it'll gel fine.
Yeah, and I know that if you let it sit for just a couple minutes and it sort of melts in, it turns a little bit cleaner. So what other snacks do you like to feed Wes?
This. He really likes the corn thins. They're like, rice crackers, but they're made of corn.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes like popcorn, and it's made with organic, non-GMO corn.
So you want to make sure you don't get the GMO, right?
Yes. He also likes amazake, which is it's fermented, sweet fermented rice drink.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it as a sweetener as well.
Mm-hmm. And these are the corn thins that are...
Those are actually the rice cakes.
Rice cakes with blueberry and beet. Okay, great.
You can find these in the baby
section.
Yeah.
It's probably, what I found, it's safer to buy some of the baby foods.
Yeah, so they're more plain and less. They use very simple ingredients.
Mm-hmm. And so, what are some of the topics that you talk about on your blog for mothers and children?
I've shared some tips about some of the lifestyle things that you can do. He spends a lot of time outdoors, and I think it's very important. And to let them explore out in nature, help them explore the world. Obviously, you don't want them picking up trash off the streets or anything, but you can go to a park and take a walk if they want to. Pick up some sticks or rocks. As adults, we might say, don't play with that. but they're learning, they're touching, they're you know, feeling and seeing.
And playing.
It's play for them, yeah. So.
And we talked before on other shows about using cotton materials as opposed to synthetics, like cotton bedding if you can, cotton socks, cotton pajamas, cotton towels, simply because those materials breathe better.
Yeah.
Also having lots of plants in your house. And having kids learn a little bit more about plants and gardens. Kids love growing gardens.
Right. They love to get their hands dirty.
Yes, and exploring anything, I think, in nature is really great. And I know that you homeschool Wes. Is that correct?
We want to homeschool, yeah.
So that gives you a little bit more leeway in terms of teaching him in more of a quiet, sort of uninterrupted atmosphere, and then also joining with other kids. Have you found that you are able to network with other parents and kids that are eating healthy as well?
Yes. I mean, they're out there. I know it's hard. It's really hard to eat healthy nowadays, actually. And you know, you're already busy, you know, raising a child, and now you have to think about how to give them healthy foods. I know it's a lot, but yeah, I've met a few parents.
And I know a lot of them read your blog too. Yeah, the other thing that we want viewers to know, it is a real challenge. It takes an extra effort to go down and choose the healthier ingredients. And what I found when I was teaching kids at school was that their taste buds start to change the more sugar they eat. So you know, if they're eating lots of refined white sugar, it's really hard for them to start eating things that don't taste as sweet. And enjoy desserts that aren't full of tons and tons of sugar.
Right.
So that's always a challenge too. But once you get them off the sugar, I think they enjoy it, mild sweet taste instead. I know, Wes, you like, what are your favorite snacks and foods? Grapes? Rice cakes?
You like rice cakes?
Tofu?
You like the corn thins?
But I know that you don't have it, he doesn't really have a sweet tooth.
So
like
that's
when we
the
go
thing.
out.
So if you eat a grain and vegetable-based diet and you avoid the artificial sweeteners, then he won't go there. You know, I mean, he's tried things like chocolate and even ice cream, but he doesn't like the taste. So.
And so many kids are addicted to that. So that's a miracle that you did that. Okay, so our Canton is almost dissolved. And as you stir it, the flakes, you don't see the flakes anymore. And that means that it's ready to set. So once you pour it over the apples, you're going to have to stick it in the refrigerator to make it Jell-O for at least, what, 30 minutes? 40 minutes?
30?
30?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
I'm just gonna
And we cut up all the apples. Now you can put the apples in.
Yeah, you
put them in. Okay, we'll put the apples in. Or you can just pour the hot liquid over the apples.
You want to do that? You want to put it?
Over the apples. Over the apples.
And what about tooth decay? Do you find Wes has less tooth decay because he doesn't eat that many sweets?
So his teeth are actually, they're good because I believe it's because he doesn't eat candy and chocolate and all those other artificial sweets. I think it really does make a difference.
And I think later on in life too, just to be raised like this, your bones will stay stronger, your mental capacity, your ability to focus and not be so hyperactive. And I mean, I see a lot of parents who give their kids tons of sugar acting out in the supermarkets and, you know, throwing tantrums and things like that. So I think that really contributes to hyperactivity.
I mean, he can be, you know, silly and wild, and get angry or whatnot. But you know, he's 4. And, like his temperament stays pretty stable most of the time. So I really think the food has a lot to do with it.
And the fact that he's eating whole grains and vegetables every day is really helpful.
You gotta pour it in.
We're going to have a slow.
Here, let me help you. No?
So Wes, are there any other desserts that you like to eat?
Yeah.
Which ones? Grapes? Apples?
Can I taste this?
No, don't
It's hot.
Don't drink that.
Not.
I have one for you. You have to pour this in the bowl. There it's cool.
Hangmi, is there anything else that you want mothers to know about raising healthy kids that might be on your blog? We're going to show your blog in a couple minutes.
So I actually had a hard time. At one point, he stopped eating food, and I had a hard time getting him to eat like actual food. But he did like sweet potato fries. But it's not something you want to give him every day.
Because it's fried.
Right. So then I just had to be creative and find, you know, ways to make that dish
vegetables
lighter.
taste good.
Right. So instead of the fried dishes, I started pan frying it, like lightly pan frying the sweet potatoes. I didn't want to bake it because it can get dry. It's not good for skin. And then I used the grain-based sweeteners to make it, you know, tastier. And also, it sounds silly, but sometimes it's about the presentation, about the food. So I wanted him to try corn, and I would boil the you know, the whole cob, and then, you know, cut the corn off the cob, and I placed them nicely on a plate, but he wanted nothing to do with it. So one day I just, you know, I boiled some corn, and then I packed it in our lunchbox and said, we're gonna take a walk, and then we're gonna have it as a snack. So then, you know. So
make it creative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe a change of environment or something. Because I gave him the cob, and then he like went right for it.
Well, it was great having you guys on the show, and we look forward to reading your blog. Do you want to tell viewers how to get in touch with you and your blog?
So you can get in touch through my blog. My blog is www.hemmyeatsdough.com.
And do you want to spell that out?
Sure. It's H as in Hannah, E as in Elizabeth, M as in Michael, I as in Illinois, eats, dough as in like the pizza dough, hemmyeatsdough, that's one word, .com.
Great. Thanks for coming on the show. We look forward to trying the Jell-O.
I'm alive to move you now. I'm waiting for control. Folding up.
We got this.